Okay, members, I'd like to welcome everybody to our annual meeting, AGM of Derry City and Strabane District Council, to be held remotely here, the Guildhall, on Monday, the 1st of June at 7 p.m. Good evening, members. We'll go into the first item of the agenda, which is the notice and summons of meeting. John.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, members. To all members of Derry City and Strabane District Council, we're here summoned to attend the annual meeting of the Council to be held remotely this afternoon, Monday, the 1st of June 2020 at 7 p.m. Starting with the roll call, Alderman Breslin.
Here, John.
Alderman Devaney.
Here.
Alderman Guy.
Here, John.
Alderman Carrigan.
Here, John.
Alderman McClintock.
Here, John.
Alderman McCready.
Here, John.
Alderman McKean.
Here, John.
Alderman Ramsey. Alderman Wark.
Here, John.
Councillor Jason Barr.
Here.
Councillor Raymond Barr.
Here, John.
Councillor John Boyle.
Yeah, I'm here.
Councillor Michaela Boyle. Councillor Burke. Councillor Tina Burke. Councillor Carr.
Here, John.
Sure, John.
Councillor Cusick.
Here, John.
Councillor Dobbins.
Here, John.
Councillor Donnelly.
Shot.
Councillor Duffy.
And Shot.
Councillor Durkin. Councillor Farrell.
Here.
Councillor Ferguson.
Here, John.
Councillor Fleming.
Sure, John.
Councillor Gallagher.
Shot, John.
Councillor Harkin. Councillor Sean Harkin. Councillor Jackson.
Sure.
Councillor Kelly.
And Shot.
Councillor Logue.
Sure, John.
Councillor McCann. Councillor Eamon McCann. Councillor McCluskey.
Sure, King.
Councillor McGuire.
Shot.
Councillor McHugh.
Shot, John.
Councillor McKeever.
Here, John.
Councillor McKinney.
Hello.
Councillor McKinney.
Hello.
Councillor Mellon. Councillor Mooney.
Here, John.
Councillor Riley.
Here, John.
Councillor Tierney.
Here, John.
Councillor Edwards.
Here, John.
Thank you, members. Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor McKinney is on, but I think he's struggling with his mic there.
Hello. Hello.
Got you, Councillor McCann. Just double checking. Councillor Burke.
Sure, John.
Thank you. And Councillor Harkin.
Here.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, John. Okay, members, agenda item 3, statement for remote meetings. I would like to remind everyone who is in remote attendance that this meeting will be broadcast live via the Council's YouTube channel and will be available for viewing by the public and media. The broadcast will also be available for repeated viewing at a later date. This broadcast may be terminated or suspended in accordance with Council protocol. Members and approved speakers are reminded to only have their mics and cameras on whilst speaking at the meeting and to use the chat facility to highlight a request to speak. By participating in this meeting, you are consenting to be filmed and to the use and storage of those images for broadcasting or training purposes, and for the purposes of keeping historical records and making those records available to the public. A copy of the Council privacy notice may be found on the Council's website. Thank you. Okay, members, agenda item 4, declaration of members' interest. If any member has a declaration, can they type it into the chat box? Agenda item 5, members, which is the outgoing speech from myself as the Mayor. Members, normally on this occasion, the outgoing Mayor would be thanking everyone for coming along to our beautiful Guildhall for our annual Derry City and Strabane District Council AGM. Can people hear me? Of course, this is a very different ceremony this year. Therefore, I want to send my virtual social distancing greetings to all of the citizens of Derry City and Strabane as I end my year serving you as Mayor. It has been a huge honour to serve as first citizen of this council, and I want to thank all of those who have supported me over the past 12 months, particularly my family, my husband Paul, my 4 daughters and my 3 grandchildren, for supporting me throughout the year. I know it has not been easy at times as a family having to miss family time. I want to offer my warmest congratulations and best wishes to Brian Tierney, his wife Cheryl and his family as he takes up the role. I very much look forward to working with you, Brian, in the time ahead as we continue the work of leading our people through the COVID-19 pandemic and spurring our economic recovery. I want to thank the outgoing Deputy Mayor, Cara Hunter, for her role throughout the year as Deputy Mayor. And I want to take this opportunity also to congratulate her in her co-option as MLA for East Derry to replace her party's esteemed and late colleague, John Dallett. I wish her every success in her new role. I also want to offer the incoming Deputy Mayor, Graham Wark, my best wishes as he takes up his role as new Deputy Mayor. At the outset of my term, I nominated the Quorum Centre and Foyle Women's Aid as my 2 mayoral charities for the year. Unfortunately, the public health emergency severely curtailed the fundraising potential, with traditional initiatives such as the Mayor's Ball having to be cancelled. However, I want to thank sincerely all those individuals, businesses, groups who stepped in to fill the void with generous donations and fundraising initiatives. I would particularly like to pay tribute to my local Sigerson's GAA club, and I declare an interest, who put so much effort into the Strabane Solo initiative yesterday. The proceeds, which reached a target of £20,000, will go to the Quorum Centre and the Knockavo School in the town. Given the impact of the crisis of mental health and the reported massive increase in incidents of domestic violence, I hope that the monies raised during my tenure will at least go some way to assisting the work of both the Quorum Centre and Foyle Women's Aid as they experience increased referrals for the invaluable services which they provide. When I took up this post a year ago, little did any of us know what lay in store. The COVID-19 pandemic has rocked us all to our core. It is the biggest health crisis in generations, and there isn't a corner of the globe that COVID hasn't impacted. The loss of life has been heartbreaking. We must constantly remind ourselves that behind each statistic is a grieving family, and in many cases, a loved one who slipped away in the cruelest of circumstances without their family at their side. For each one of us, the way of life that we all took for granted was upended and replaced with something that seems alien to those who we cherish human contact. A hug from a grandchild, a loving arm around the shoulder of a parent. Such actions were once so automatic and instinctive that they barely registered. Now they are something that many of us desperately long for. These have been the most difficult of times, and we are all yearning for a return to normality. and I am convinced we will get there. I say that with confidence because as Mayor of this city and region, I had the privilege of seeing firsthand the incredible spirit of community solidarity and determination to confront this deadly disease and protect the most vulnerable. I see it in the selfless and heroic actions of the NHS staff who have put themselves on the front line of this fight repeatedly. I see it in the incredible community voluntary sector that we have here across the city and district, and the work that they have been doing day after day, night after night, to ensure the vulnerable are cared for and the community morale remains high. I see it in the selfless efforts of all the workers who have continued to go to their jobs every day in order to keep vital services operating. And I want to say a particular word of thanks to all of the staff within Derry City and Strabane District Council who have continued to work through the most trying of circumstances. In addition, I see the sacrifices that ordinary families and citizens across this region have prepared to make in order to win this fight. Moreover, it is thanks to your efforts, your sacrifices, that we are winning. A big thank you to all of our young people who have almost made a huge sacrifice by staying indoors and staying apart. We applaud you. Stick with the social distancing to keep you, your family and your community safe. However, there can be no room for complacency. By adhering to the lockdown and the public health advice, you have saved lives. You have helped to drive down the infection rate and protect the NHS and most vulnerable in our society. What we all need to do now is to see that through. We need to keep following the advice and keep driving the infection rate down for as long as it takes. But take heart from the fact that we are clearly succeeding. And as we emerge from the pandemic, the spirit of solidarity and unity that it has engendered in us will be vital to rebuilding and repairing our economy. Thankfully now we have in place key building blocks that will be essential to this work. Confirmation that the medical school will open its doors at Magee in September 2021 is a game changer for this region. Not only will the NHS heroes of the future be trained and retrained and retained in Derry, the medical school will also provide the long-needed impetus to drive the overall expansion of the university with all the additional social and economic benefits that brings to the entire Northwest region. The medical school announcement came just days after confirmation of a $210 million funding package for the Northwest between the City deal and the Inclusive Growth deal. Again, this is massive in terms of realising the economic potential of the Northwest. I am particularly delighted that Strabane is also set to benefit substantially from this landmark package, with funding earmarked for Strabane Town Centre regeneration plans, with the Canal Basin Regeneration Project, seeing the integration of a major health hub, further education campus, leisure centre and council office in the heart of Strabane. In addition, with the progress continuing a space on the SEUPB funded riverine project, a fresh town centre public realm scheme and the Strabane-Lifford Greenways, these combined projects will be completely transformative for Strabane. I want to thank all of those who have worked tirelessly to secure these investments. It is testament to their determination that this work continues and has succeeded even in the face of such a huge crisis. Investment of this scale is unprecedented in the Northwest. It is a huge vote of confidence in this region and evidence that the Stormont Executive is serious about helping to redress past neglect. Progress in the A5 dual carriageway is also crucial to this process, just as it is essential to saving lives on our road. With the findings of the second public inquiry now due to come before Minister Nicola Mallon, and hopefully a decision to once again to proceed, I would make a heartfelt plea to the A5 Alliance to now desist from trying to subvert the will of virtually the entire community here who are so desperate to see this road built, particularly the families that have suffered the loss of a loved one on that stretch of road. We need to ensure that all measures are in place to assist the rebuilding of the North West economy as we emerge from the COVID-19 crisis. That work will soon confront us. I want to pay my heartfelt thanks to everyone in the Mayor's team in the Guildhall. There is too many to mention. However, it would be remiss of me not to pay a particular word of thanks to Karen, Shauna, Ben, Mal, Adele, Paul, and all of the press team, and to my Chief Executive, John Kelby, and his team for the great work and the decisions taken at the right time, indeed, which John made to ensure that our city and district has remained a safe place to live during this pandemic. To the many, many new friends I have made across the district since the beginning of my term as Mayor, I want to thank you for all your support and well wishes. It has been an honour and a privilege to work, laugh, dance, and meet with you all. There has been so many great memories that I will cherish and remember forever. Thank you for including me, and I in return was inclusive. I also want to pay a particular thanks to Mark Patterson and his team at Radio Foyle, who worked with me as Mayor to ensure that the Mayor's initiatives that he promoted throughout the airwaves, and for his involvement in the sounding of the factory horn, the first ever virtual Mayor's Tea Dance, and the Jazz Festival. At the start of my year, I made a promise to the citizens of this city and district that I would be a Mayor for all. I give a commitment to interacting and reaching out to all of those from religious backgrounds, faiths, and none. I listened without judgment and paid attention to other cultures, which they are many within our region. I extended my sincere hand of friendship across the city, and in doing this, I hope that I have made a difference respecting each other's differences. People are created equal, but we are not all the same. As I said earlier, I look forward to working with the new Mayor, Brian, as we face this challenge together. I also look forward to harnessing the spirit of solidarity and unity that has served us so well over the past months, as together we ensure that a better, stronger region emerges on the other side of this difficult time. Thank you, everybody. Gor míle maith agah. Okay, members. Okay, members. Item 6, John. Yeah. Item 6, members. Sorry, just having some technical difficulties here this evening.
Sorry, Mayor, before you move on to item 6, can we pay our thanks to yourself?
Yes, you can indeed.
Okay, Mayor, will we watch the video first?
Sign. You're mute.
Members, that was a busy year. I didn't realise it was that busy. And it's nice to look back always as ever on the pictures that have been taken. And I suppose I didn't thank the photographers as well also throughout the year from both the city here and Strabane. Members, there's a number of people who are looking to come in before I move on. I'll take them in the order that they came in. Councillor Duffy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Some lovely memories there. A lot of them before social distancing was a thing, obviously. I actually forgot about Strictly, so it was great to be reminded of your stint there. Brilliant. Madam Mayor, I would just like to say a few words of thanks to you on behalf of the Sinn Féin Party grouping. We have been immensely proud of how you have conducted yourself this year as Mayor. There is no doubt that it has been an eventful year for you, not least due to the COVID-19 emergency. As Mayor, you have very much brought your own personality to the role, and your sincere warmth has ensured that you were able to reach out to people from the youngest to the oldest. You treated everyone equally. You visited all the communities and embraced them all. Your tea dances were a joy for our older residents, and the virtual tea dance last month was a real treat for everyone, and it really broke the monotony of a lockdown day. You also represented the city and district well with both visitors to the council area and mayoral trips to Boston and Philadelphia that we've seen in the video there. People always remarked of your welcoming nature, so we thank you for that. And then when we moved into the COVID emergency, you stepped up and you showed what true leadership actually meant. You led from the front, you were giving support and encouragement to our frontline workers, you visited those in the front line, you visited the hospital, you provided PPE that you had sourced from local businesses, you visited our care homes, you brought treats to the residents that were living within them that often felt forgotten about within all of this. You visited our community resilience teams, you helped with the distribution of food and essential items, and of course then visiting the council frontline workers and thanking them for the amazing job that they have been doing throughout this period. But you have also provided hope and encouragement to all citizens through a number of small initiatives that you have taken through this period, not least, and you mentioned it yourself, was resurrecting the famous Derry factory horn on a Thursday night to allow us to contribute to the noise that we were making and clapping for our frontline workers. So we thank you for that. That is something that we will all remember. We thank you for the compassionate leadership that you have shown throughout this period and indeed throughout the entire year. I would like to also thank the outgoing Deputy Mayor Ciara Hunter, who was a great help to yourself in dealing with the busy diary that you had. And I wish her the best of luck also in her new role as MLA for East Derry. I would also like to wish the incoming Mayor, Councillor Brian Tierney, and the incoming Deputy Mayor, Alderman Graham Mark, all the very best for the year ahead. And I wish them both the very best and good health in the months ahead, because I know that we haven't escaped coronavirus yet. So I wish them the best of health as well. And finally, it is normally the tradition of the outgoing mayor to sneak off on a well-deserved holiday. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case for you. But I do hope that at least you and Paul have a couple of days of rest. And I'm sure Paul will be delighted to have you back. But I would like to pay a few words of thanks to Paul in particular for the support that he has given you throughout the year and allowing us to take up so much of your time as well. So thank you to Paul, and thank you to yourself, Michaela, and Gura Milan. You have been a fantastic mayor, and your time, when you look back on it, will be great memories for you. So thank you very much, Michaela.
Councillor Duffy, for those kind words, and I also want to thank you as the party group leader for my party for your support and my party's support here within Derry City and Strabane District Council. Thank you. Alderman McClintock.
Madam Mayor, and I also would like to congratulate you on your year in office. You have been very fair with everyone in the chamber. You've even been indulgent to us at some times, but just want to thank you for the way that you have conducted yourself during the year. You've had a strange end to your year, but yet that video has just shown us how busy you were in the first part of the year. You've said yourself, no mayor's ball, and that's, I'm sure, a big disappointment to you, but at the same time, you've done so much during the year to be proud of. You've also showed us your ability to manage technology and to be the first mayor who's had to chair meetings in the way that you've done, with Paul's help maybe, but probably missing the chief executive and the city solicitor beside you too, so you've managed that all very well. As Sandra said, there no holiday for you, but at least you can enjoy the time with family now. Put your feet up for a little while anyway and enjoy your family time. You've been a natural with people, and now that your year is up, just what I said, I'm looking forward to working with Brian as the incoming mayor, and of course with Graham as the deputy mayor. Thank you, Mayor, and well done.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock, for those kind words. And as you know, as a previous mayor, how difficult it is balancing work life and family life. But it's a great honour, and it's only for a year. But well done on yourself too. Councillor Rachel Ferguson.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'm going to just echo a lot of words that was already said. I want to thank you for your year. Michaela, I can't express how warm you've actually been, especially to newly elected councillors that didn't really have an idea what they were doing, but you've always been one there that's helping us along the way and bringing us in. And I don't think anybody could say that you weren't inclusive and treated everyone as equal. And like Hilary had said there, this last couple of months, you've had to be innovative and come up with new ideas, and you've really took that in your stride. So I want to thank you, and again, thank Cara as our outgoing deputy mayor. I really do hope you take the time, and when this is all over, you get those cuddles and that family time together, because you have been flat out all year round. And of course, we want to congratulate Brian and Graham and the incoming mayor and incoming deputy mayor. We look forward to working with you over the next year, and we hope you have just as busy as a year. And obviously, it's going to be tough for the first couple of weeks or months for you, but I'm sure you will take it in your strides too. But no, thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
Councillor Ferguson, for those kind words, and it's always a pleasure to work alongside yourself, and I indeed was delighted to have a joint motion with yourself earlier on in the year around domestic violence, and as a subject that's passionate to both our hearts. I indeed look forward to working with you in the future around the council chamber, so thank you. Alderman Guy.
Thank you, Mayor, for letting me in. Congratulations on carrying out your duties throughout the year. Found that you carried them out in a very respectful manner to everyone. You were very accommodating and very fair. And any time chairing meetings or anything like that there, and any time I had to speak to you about anything, you were more than good. And I'd just like to say all the best. And I'm sorry that you missed out on the chance to have your ball, but at least your charities aren't missing out, and you were able to accommodate in that there. And I'd just like to say well done to Cara Hunter as well, and Deputy Mayor, and wish her all the best in her new role as an MLA. And I would just like to congratulate Councillor Tierney as the new mayor, and wish him all the best, and look forward to working with him, as well as the new deputy mayor. I would wish him well as well, and all the best for the year ahead. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Guy. Thank you, everybody, and indeed, thank you to the members who have wrote into the chat box all the well wishes and indeed the personal messages that they have been sending me over the course of the last few days. Thank you, everybody, for that. And thank you to the team here this evening, also in the Guildhall, as we work our way through this remote AGM. So members, if you just bear with me, we will move on to agenda item 6, which is the appointment of member for each of the following positions and responsibility for year 2 within our council, 2020 to 2021. And the first position we have is positions of responsibility. And it's attached on your page, members, at Appendix 1, position of responsibility, which is Mayor for SDLP. So I have a nomination for Mayor.
Thank you, Michaela. Can I, first of all, as I indicated in the chat box, just start off my remarks when nominating now to thank you for your time in office and all the work that you've done across the city and district. You, as part of the video and as part of what other people have said, we touched on the short factory horn being aired right across the city and district. And if we look at the video that was played, you yourself were like that short factory horn, calling to people right across the city and district with a message of hope in these difficult times. But also before COVID-19, you had been right across this council area, bringing the mayoral office into every part of this area. So well done on all of that across the Northwest. Good luck in the time ahead. Enjoy it as best you can in terms of getting a break, and I'm sure we'll continue to work well with yourself in the chamber, be it in a physical chamber or in a virtual chamber in the years ahead. I'm conscious that you were very fair to all the parties and all the independents in both the chamber in the physical sense, and then handling all the queries online and dealing with them in a very fair way as well. So well done in your year, and best wishes to you and your family. Mayor, it's also worth pointing out that we have a new councillor on this evening's call. Councillor Stephen Edwards has been nominated to replace Cara Hunter. So congratulations to Stephen. Stephen's a law graduate and has spent 9 years in the SDLP working across all the levels for the party in terms of being an activist on the ground, but also helping us with our policy work in Stormont. He narrowly missed out on election last year, and we're delighted that he's now in the chamber with us as part of our SDLP. So just want to wish Councillor Edwards well in his term ahead. And on that point, also to agree with the remarks that so many people have made here tonight about Councillor Cara Hunter and the efforts that she did as Deputy Mayor. She worked well with you in your joint role as Mayor and Deputy Mayor. I think he's made a very good team, and whenever you were unable to do something, Cara stepped up and certainly did her best. So we wish her well in her role now as MLA. And I want to wish Alderman Wark well in taking on that role as Deputy Mayor. Also, he has a very strong role to play in supporting Brian as Mayor in the year ahead. So good luck to Alderman Wark as well. Mayor, that leads me on to the nomination process, and I'm delighted to be in a position to nominate a friend and colleague, Councillor Brian Tierney, for the position of Mayor for this year ahead. Brian grew up in the Little Diamond area of the Bogside. He went to school in Cregan and St Joseph's, and he's had family connections with the SDLP for generations. In the 70s and 80s, he had members of his family involved in politics, and indeed he was the third member of his family to be elected to the council. His aunt Teresa and his uncle John also served the citizens of this city and region before him. Indeed, John served as mayor as well. So he's not coming to politics fresh on his own. He has a long-standing commitment, and he and his family have a long-standing commitment to the best interests of this city. And indeed, his father, Brian Sr., is a lifelong SDLP member and activist. So I'm sure this is a very proud moment for the Tierney clan. And so I want to record that as well. I know that it's obviously a very different evening than what had been thought when Brian was putting his name forward for mayor some months ago. I think that if we think about the fact that politics cuts into every person in the family, not just the elected member, but all their families. So thinking very much tonight of Cheryl and Brian's 4 children, Cian, Shane, Mary, Kate and Ben, all of whom share with Brian this success tonight for him on a personal level. But we also know that politics sometimes isn't always as nice as tonight is for the Tierney family. I'm aware that Brian's home was attacked in 2017, and that was an attack not just on Brian, but his family at their family home. So tonight is one of the times that I'm sure they'll look back at and be grateful and remember all the positives that it can be when you're involved in politics. So thinking of Brian's immediate family as well tonight. Brian was co-opted into council in January 2014. He went on to be elected that year and then again last year. He served on a range of council committees. He served on outside bodies such as the Bloody Sunday Trust as well. So he's well grounded in the communities, both where he's elected from and also where he grew up in. And I've no doubt that he'll be a sterling mayor for everybody right across the city and district. So Michaela, as your term is coming to an end, just to wish you well in the time ahead and to also wish Councillor Tierney well in his mayoral year starting now. Thank you.
Councillor Riley, do I have a seconder for that proposal? I don't need one. No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Riley. And just before I step down, I just want to also welcome and wish Stephen Edwards, Councillor Stephen Edwards, all the best in his new role as councillor for the Derry area. And I also just want to once again pay my personal tribute to you, Brian. As I step down, it will be a challenging year. It'll be a difficult few months, but I no doubt that you'll have the support, not just with your party and your family, but with the wider district, city and district. And thank you once again, and look forward to working with you the rest of the year. Thank you. Okay, members, if you just bear with us for a short while till we do the handing over of the chain ceremony.
Okay, members, thank you all very much for those people who have been in contact with me over the last number of days, wishing me well, and thank you very much to Councillor Riley for the very kind words that he has just passed on, and obviously thank you to Michaela for all of her well wishes and advice that she has given me. Members, the next position of responsibility is the Deputy Mayor. And it is the turn this time of the DUP to nominate for that position. So can I have a nomination from the DUP for the position of Deputy Mayor, please?
Thank you, Mayor. And if I may be the first to take the opportunity to congratulate you on your new role now. We look forward to working with you. I think you'll be an excellent mayor, and we look forward to working with you. It was remiss of me at the beginning when I spoke not to last year's Cara, and to thank her for what she has done over the last year as well. But now it gives me great pleasure to nominate Alderman Graham Wark for the position of Deputy Mayor. Graham is no stranger to many people in this city. The Wark name in particular is synonymous with the Cathedral Youth Club and the fountain area of the city. So there will be many there tonight in that area who will be just thrilled to see him be nominated as the Deputy Mayor. And then Graham, of course, lives in the new buildings area and has worked steadfastly there and in the rural area. So I'm sure, Mayor, that he will be an real assistance to you and will take on his role as Deputy Mayor in a very professional way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman McClintock. Members, at this stage of tonight's proceedings, I'm going to hand over to our Chief Executive, John Kelpie, and he will take us through the positions of responsibility for the chairpersons in the incoming year. John?
Thank you, Mayor, and congratulations from myself and the officer team as well. So members, we're looking for nominations for the chairs of each of the 6 committees, starting firstly with the Governance and Strategic Planning Committee. A nomination, please, from the Ulster Unionist Party.
John, I nominate myself for chair.
Thank you. Members, we'll just take this slowly while the names are inputted into the table. Thank you. Chair of the Planning Committee, Sinn Féin, please.
John, could I nominate Councillor Christopher Jackson?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Chair of the Assurance, Audit and Risk Committee, nomination from the DUP, please.
I would like to nominate David Ramsey.
Thank you. Alderman McClintock. Chair of the Business and Culture Committee, SDLP, please.
Apologies, John, sorry, just had it on mute. Deputy Chair of Planning, Councillor John Boyle.
Sorry, Councillor Riley, it's a Chair of Business and Culture.
Sorry, apologies. Councillor Rory Farrell.
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Next position is the Chair of the Environment and Regeneration Committee. DUP, please.
I would like to nominate Maurice Devaney.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. And finally, in terms of chairs, the Chair of the Health and Community Committee, Ulster Unionist Party, please. Alderman Guy, could I have a nomination, please, for the Chair of the Health and Community Committee?
Andy McKeon for Chair of Health.
Thank you, Alderman Guy. That completes the chairs. Moving then to the Deputy Chair of each of the 6 committees, starting with the Governance and Strategic Planning Committee. Nomination from Sinn Féin, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Paul Fleming? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Deputy Chair for the Planning Committee, SDLP, please.
Thank you, John. Can I nominate John Boyle?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Deputy Chair of Assurance, Audit and Risk, Alliance Party, please.
Could I nominate Councillor McKinney, please?
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. Deputy Chair of Business and Culture Committee, please, Sinn Féin.
Could I nominate Councillor Aileen Mellon, please?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. We have a independent as chair of the Environment and Regeneration Committee, Councillor Carr, and we have a chair of the Health and Community Committee, independent Councillor Raymond Barr. So that leaves us with one further allocation of position of responsibility, a representative on the Reserve Forces and Cadets Association for Northern Ireland. DUP, please.
I would like to nominate Ryan McCready.
Thank you very much, Alderman McClintock. And back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, John. Members, item number 7 on this evening's agenda is the speeches by the incoming Mayor and Deputy Mayor. Members, I am truly and deeply honoured to be elected as the Mayor for Derry City and Strabane District Council for the incoming year. I would like to thank my proposer, Councillor Martin Riley, and all my colleagues in the SDLP Council Group for their support. I would also like to thank my friend and colleague, Colin Eastwood MP, who has always supported, encouraged and believed in my ability as an elected representative, and all the members of the SDLP across Derry and Strabane who have placed their trust in me to carry out this role, especially during such an important year for our city and district. The role of a public representative could not be carried out without an enormous amount of support, understanding and sacrifice from our families. So I want to take this opportunity to thank my wife Cheryl, my children Cian, Shane, Mary Kate and Ben for their unwavering support for me, which has helped me carry out my role as a public representative to the best of my ability. I simply couldn't and wouldn't be here without them. My parents, Brian and Mary, and my two sisters, Lynn and Fiona, who have obviously played a huge role in my life, and my mother and father-in-law for their support also. My uncle John Tierney has done a huge amount in helping me become an effective public representative. He has been my greatest mentor and, when needed, the one person who I listened to, especially when he made me see things from another perspective. And that mentoring has been priceless. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the newly elected Deputy Mayor, Alderman Graham Work, and I look forward to working with him in the year ahead. Graham and I work closely together within Council's Bonfire Working Group, and while it's fair to say that we had a few differences, we were able to work together for the betterment of our area, and I think that will be a bonus for all of us in building a positive working relationship in the months and years ahead. There is no doubt that the unprecedented emergency of COVID-19 means that this will be a very difficult and very different year in the life of this city and district. And I am under no illusion that this is going to be a very trying and testing year for many of our people. Many families have been impacted by COVID-19 pandemic, and it has left a lasting scar on them for many years to come. Tonight, we are all conscious that many of our people have been burdened with the grief of losing a loved one before their time, and we send our sympathy and condolences to all of them. During the last number of months, all of us have been forced to live our lives in a radically different way. The virus has suddenly shocked us into a recognition of just how fragile our world is. However, it is also reminding us of what really matters: our health, our community spirit, and our solidarity. Facing the worst pandemic in a century, we can be proud that it has brought out the best in our community. We have come to value those we rely on most: our doctors, nurses, and all our healthcare workers, supported by their families who were at the fore of our defence. All our frontline workers who made sure that we had the supplies we needed and who kept us safe and ensured that the appropriate regulations were being adhered to. As the incoming mayor, I would also like to pay particular thanks to all the staff within council who we know put their shoulder to the wheel to ensure services have run as smoothly as they could for as long as they could. And I want to acknowledge our senior leadership team, led by our Chief Executive, John Kelpie, who has worked around the clock to protect our services and enable some semblance of normality. And while recognising the role that Council has played in this crisis, I would also like to thank our outgoing Mayor, Councillor Michaela Boyle, for the role that she has played in leading our city and district through the most challenging time many of us will have faced in our lifetime. I know it can't have been easy, and I hope Michaela gets some time to rest now and spend with her family. Members, throughout my time as Mayor, I intend to put a huge amount of my time into encouraging and in fighting for as much investment in this city and district as we can. This is a critical moment. As Mayor, when it comes to investment in this city and district, I want to preside over a turning of the tide, not another false dawn. I'll work day and night to ensure that the people of the North West aren't let down again. There have been some signs of progress, but we still have a long way to go. I would have preferred that we were further down the road in terms of securing our city deal and expanding our university and moving all of our strategic projects to the next stage. The focus for the British Government, the Executive and Council over recent months has been on fighting the COVID-19. That has meant that those conversations have been put on hold. As Mayor, I intend to pick them up again. Pausing these projects because of a pandemic can't simply mean that they are permanently postponed. None of us can allow that to happen. I intend to bang every door that I can in Belfast, Dublin or London to make sure that we have a strong case put forward for investment in Derry and Strabane. If the opportunity arises, I will travel wherever I have to ensure that people across the world know that Derry and Strabane is open for business, and I will welcome visitors to our beautiful council area. I will continue the work of previous mayors with our partners in Donegal to promote the Northwest region as an investment area for governments on both sides of the border. Bringing about recovery in our city and district and across these islands requires all of us to work together. Our people have risen to the challenge of this pandemic. It is now our job to rise above past differences and build a future for everyone who calls this place home. One of the great privileges of becoming mayor is being able to nominate a charity for the year, and I am delighted to nominate Aurora Counselling Services. Tackling the mental health crisis in this city and district must remain a major focus in all we do. That work has become all more critical now with the stress and strain the last number of months have inflicted. And Aurora are central in that work, offering a wide range of mental health services to children, teenagers and adults. They attend both primary schools and secondary schools, offering play therapy and counselling, and for adults they assist with cognitive behavioural therapy. They currently have around 15 members of staff in their team and are regularly backed up with a team of volunteers. They deserve our recognition and support, and I am delighted to nominate them as my chosen charity for the year ahead. Members, for me personally, this is a huge achievement. When growing up as a young boy in the Bogside, I never even dared to imagine that I would be addressing you as mayor. I fully understand the enormity of the responsibility that has been placed on me tonight, and I would like to make you aware that I have not entered into this position lightly. I have thought deeply and fully considered the contribution that I want to make to council and to the future of life within this city and district. I intend to be a mayor for each and every citizen across this council area, and I will do my best to represent the council area and every citizen within it to the best of my ability. I intend to be out and about the city and district as much as I can, and no area will be left behind or indeed favoured over another. As a local councillor, I have always tried to represent the people of the Ballyarnett DAA in this chamber on behalf of the SDLP, and I thank them again for giving me successive mandates to do so. Now I intend to represent people in every DAA on behalf of this council to deliver the best possible future we can for our people. I will work with anyone from any political party and none to help advance this council area. I love this place and I'll do everything I can to make our people proud. Members, over the last number of months, we have all been asked to stay away from those we love in order to protect them, and it has been very, very difficult. I hope that my year as mayor can be marked and remembered as a time when we began to bring people back together again. Back together as one community across this city and district. Back together to fully enjoy and embrace this place that we are privileged to call home. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Brent.
I think that's John Boyle here there. Thank you, John. Members, I'm now going to call on the Deputy Mayor, Alderman Graham Work, for his incoming address. Alderman Work.
Thank you very much, Mayor. It's a great honour and privilege becoming the new Deputy Mayor of Derry in the district. I'd like to thank my party colleagues from the DUP for nominating me for this role as Deputy Mayor. That I am sincerely grateful. On a personal note, I know my late father's looking down at me here, and he's very proud of me. And I want to thank my family and friends who are all watching online tonight. I would like to praise my mother for all the work she has carried out in this city, breaking down barriers, and all the values she has taught me for helping people. My two beautiful children, Caitlin and Ollie, for all the support they have given me and the drive to take on this role. And finally, but not least, my partner Tracy, who's been my rock and support. We are all going through very challenging and difficult times with the COVID-19 breakout. It has changed everyone's lives, but there is always light at the end of the tunnel. I'd like to thank the hundreds of volunteers in our community who have been taking the extra mile, helping and supporting the most vulnerable people in the community, and especially our key workers, and not but not least our NHS staff who are risking their lives. I want to say thank you. We will get through this. We all will be supporting our local business, boost our local economy, and continuing to love and support our families and our neighbours. And we have all learned how precious life is. We are all in this together. As Deputy Mayor, I look forward to the challenging year ahead. It is going to be a challenge, but with the right support and guidance, I promise to support all citizens. But it's clear now The theme of the year ahead is to get this district and city moving again. 2021 will be the Northern Ireland Centenary year, and I will work across all sides of London in the district to celebrate this milestone. Finally, I want to say well done to all the members online tonight. With your leadership and guidance, you've shown you've supported your communities during this time. Members, we've got it right. We were the first council in Northern Ireland that started to take action against COVID-19. And thank you to the outgoing Mayor Michaela Boyle on the role you carried out, and as long with our Chief Executive and council officers. Thank you. I wish the Mayor, Derry, and his wife, the Mayor Cheryl, and their children all the very best in the term ahead. And I will support you, Mayor, on these challenging times throughout the year to get the city and district moving. We may call our beautiful historic city on the foil many, many names, but one thing we are all proud to call it, and it's the city I love so well, and that is home. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Alderman Work. Members, item number 8 on our agenda is the nomination of members to council committees. And once again, I'm going to hand over to our Chief Executive, John Kelpie, who will run us through this part. John.
Thank you, Mayor. Members, 8.1, nomination of named members to fill the minimum allocation for committee based on either party strength or independent strength on council. And if we start firstly with the Governance and Strategic Planning Committee, there are 3 positions for Sinn Féin, one of which is already taken by a deputy chair role. So 2 nominations, please, for Sinn Féin.
Yes, John, could I nominate Councillor Michaela Boyle and myself?
Thank you. Councillor Duffy. 3 nominations now, please, from the SDLP.
Thanks, John. Can I nominate Councillor Sean Mooney, Councillor Jim McKeever, and myself?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. And 2 nominations, please, from the DUP.
Alan Bresland and Ryan McCready.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Moving next to the Planning Committee. Again, 3 positions for Sinn Féin, but with a chair already taken. 2 remaining nominations, please.
Councillor Dan Kelly and Councillor Kieran Maguire.
Thank you. 3 positions for the SDLP, but with 1 already taken. That's 2 remaining, please.
Thanks, John. Can I nominate Councillor Angela Dobbins and Councillor Jason Barr?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. And 2 positions, please, from the DUP.
Keith Kerrigan and myself.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Moving next to the Assurance, Audit and Risk Committee. 3 nominations, please, from Sinn Féin.
Councillor Kieran Maguire, Councillor Dan Kelly and Councillor Patricia Logue.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. And 3 nominations, please, from the SDLP.
Can I nominate Councillor Jim McKeever, Councillor Mary Durkin, and myself?
Thank you. Councillor Riley. 1 remaining nomination, please, from the DUP.
Keith Kerrigan.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Moving next, members, to the Business and Culture Committee. 2 remaining positions to be nominated from Sinn Féin, please.
Councillor Michael Cooper and Councillor Michaela Boyle.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. 2 remaining positions from the SDLP, please.
Can I nominate Councillor Jason Barr, 'n' and Councillor Shauna Cusack?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. And 2 positions from the DUP, please.
David Ramsey and Graham Work.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Moving next to the Environment and Regeneration Committee. 3 nominations, please, from Sinn Féin.
Councillor Tina Burke, Councillor Rory McHugh, and Councillor Paul Fleming.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. And 3 nominations, please, from the SDLP.
Thanks, John. I nominate Councillor Angela Dobbins, Mary Durkin, and Stephen Edwards.
Thank you, Councillor Riley. 1 remaining position, please, from the DUP.
Ramsey.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. And finally, for step 1, Health and Community Committee, 3 nominations from Sinn Féin, please.
Councillor Sandra Duffy, Councillor Rory McHugh, and Councillor Tina Burke.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. And 3 nominations, please, from the SDLP.
Can I nominate Councillor Rory Farrell, Councillor Stephen Edwards, and myself?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. And finally, 2 nominations, please, from the DUP.
Maurice Devaney and Graham Work.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Moving, Mayor, to section 8.2, members' nomination of members to fill the remaining places on each committee. And just to remind members that Sinn Féin have 5 remaining places, 1 on each of 5 committees. SDLP, 1 on each of 5 committees. The DUP, 1 on each of 3 committees. The Ulster Unionist Party, 1 on each of 3 committees. People for Profit, 1 on each of 4 committees. The Alliance Party, 1 on each of 3 committees. Into 1 on each of 2 committees. Independent Councillor Gary Donnelly, 1 on each of 2 committees. Independent Councillor Paul Gallagher, 1 on each of 2 committees. Independent Councillor Raymond Barr, 1 on 1 committee. And Independent Councillor Sean Carr, 1 on 1 committee. And obviously, members, this is slightly more complicated, particularly when we get towards the end. So we will try to ensure that we don't make a selection that doesn't leave space for another party or independent. But as in previous years, we may need to go quite slowly toward the end to allow the team to compute the maths on this one as we proceed. So if we could please start in accordance with the hunt, starting with Sinn Féin, please.
Could I nominate Patricia Logue on to Health and Communities, please?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Moving to the SDLP, please.
Thanks, John. Can I nominate Councillor Sean Mooney to Health and Communities?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Moving to the DUP, please.
To nominate Alderman Alan Breslin to Planning.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Moving to Sinn Féin, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Mickey Cooper on to Governance and Strategic Planning, please?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Moving to the SDLP, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Sean Mooney to Planning?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Moving back to Sinn Féin, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Aileen Mellon onto planning?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Moving back to the SDLP, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Mary Durkin to Business and Culture?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Moving to the DUP, please.
To nominate myself to Governance and Strategic Planning.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. Back to Sinn Féin, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Patricia Logue onto Business and Culture?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. To the SDLP, please.
Could I nominate John Boyle to Environment and Regeneration, please?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. To the DUP, please.
Ryan McCready to Environment and Regeneration.
Thank you, Alderman McClintock. To Sinn Féin, please.
Could I nominate Councillor Christopher Jackson onto Environment and Regeneration?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. To the SDLP, please.
Could I nominate Councillor John Boyle to Governance and Strategic Planning?
Thank you, Councillor Riley. To the UUP, please.
I nominate Councillor Andy McKeon to Environment and Regeneration.
Thank you, Alderman Guy. To People Before Profit, please.
Could I nominate Councillor McCann to the Environment and Regeneration Committee?
Thank you, Councillor Harkin. To the Alliance Party, please.
Could I nominate myself onto Health and Communities?
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. To the UUP, please.
Could I nominate myself onto Business and Culture?
Thank you, Alderman Guy. To People Before Profit, please.
Could I nominate myself onto the Health and Community Committee?
Thank you, Councillor Harkin. To the Alliance Party, please.
Could I nominate Councillor McKinney onto Planning?
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. Independent Councillor Gary Donnelly.
Nominate myself on the Governance and Strategic Plan.
Thank you, Councillor Donnelly. Independent Councillor Paul Gallagher.
Onto myself, onto Governance, Strategic Planning.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Into, please.
I'm not sure if I'm missing the bottom. Is there anything else in Governance and Strategic Planning, or are there only 14?
It's currently full, Councillor McCluskey.
I just wasn't sure if it was the bottom screen. So myself to Business and Culture, please.
Thank you, Councillor McCluskey. Independent Councillor Raymond Barr.
Myself to Business and Culture, please, John.
Thank you, Councillor Barr. Independent Councillor Sean Carr.
Can I always say on the audit, risk and assurance? Assurance, risk, audit.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Ulster Unionist Party, please.
John, can I nominate myself on the Assurance, Audit and Risk?
Thank you, Alderman Guy. People Before Profit, please.
I could nominate Councillor McCann onto the Business and Culture Committee. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Harkin. Alliance Party, please.
Nominate myself on the assurance audit and risk.
Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me 1 second, Councillor Ferguson. Sorry, members. Councillor Ferguson, you can't nominate on to assurance, audit and risk
Bad
because
run,
there's
you know.
already, and you can't either nominate
Get
on to
that shout.
planning. So, Councillor
Get that
McCann.
shout. 'Cause our first shout was a deputy chair.
Sorry, can Councillor McCann hear me from People Before Profit? Councillor McCann, People Before Profit are going to have to re-nominate from Business and Culture onto either planning or assurance, audit and risk, please.
Sorry, John, could you explain why?
Because I mentioned at the start, Councillor Harkin, that once it gets to the last few positions, it gets quite tricky. So there is another Alliance Party position to be filled. The only place that the Alliance Party can take up at this stage is a position on business and culture. It can't take a position on planning or assurance, audit and risk because it already has a position on assurance, audit and risk. So effectively, the People Before Profit nomination into business and culture has to be, we have to take a step back and allow Alliance into that position. So I require Councillor Harkin a nomination for People Before Profit onto either planning or to assurance, audit and risk at this stage, please.
Okay, I'll nominate Councillor McCann on the assurance, audit and risk.
Thank you very much. So back to Alliance, Councillor Ferguson, with the only position remaining available to you as business and culture.
Yep, that's fine, John.
Thank you. Moving back to People Before Profit with the only position available to you, Councillor Harkin, as planning.
Sorry, John, are you nominating me for that?
No, I'm suggesting that that's the only position available for People Before Profit. So
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's either yourself, Councillor Harkin, or Councillor McCann.
Yeah, no, myself. Thanks.
Yourself. Thank you very much, Councillor Harkin. Moving next to Independent Councillor Gary Donnelly. Either planning or assurance, audit and risk.
Audit.
Thank you, Councillor Donnelly. And next to Independent Councillor Paul Gallagher.
Planning.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. And that leaves one remaining position to the Into Party, Councillor McCluskey, assurance, audit and risk.
Thank you, Independent Councillor Gallagher, for that.
Thank you, members. So that completes all 14 positions for all 6 committees. Thank you very much.
Okay, members, and John, thank you very much for taking us through that very difficult process. Members, item number 9 is before us at our special meeting on the 8th of June, as you will see in your agenda. So with that note, I would like to thank you all for your attendance, albeit virtually, and once again, all those members who have contacted me privately or under the chat box. wishing both myself and Alderman Work well for the year ahead. But members, that, as you'll be glad to know, brings our meeting to a close. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members.
Thank you, John.